Congressman Maloney, this is along the same topic of executive orders. It has been the policy of presidents on both party sides to issue executive orders. Many of these appear to be done to bypass congressional approval. What is your position on the use of executive orders?
Yes, well, look, I think that there's very important work that's been done by presidents of the United States through executive action. Think of desegregating the armed services by Harry Truman. Think of the Emancipation Proclamation by Abraham Lincoln. Recently we had a fight in the Congress about whether we would roll back executive orders that prevented discrimination against LGBT Americans in the workplace. I thought that was wrong and I fought against it. You know, there's executive orders I agree with and ones I don't. I do think that executive orders should not be a substitute for the Congress doing its job. I think it's wrong that we're doing so many things by executive order when the Congress should be doing it by working together and hammering out solutions to some problems like immigration reform. We should do that in the Congress and we should do it through our democracy, but we should do something. It has been sitting there too long. We need to fix a broken system. So when you see executive action, sometimes they are the result of frustration on the behalf of the administration because Congress has been so gridlocked. It's one of the reasons I chose not to go down and throw a pie on cable news. You don't see me out there making political arguments. You see me out there trying to work with people across the aisle. People like Sue Serino, people like Rod Rollison and Marcus Molinaro, all Republicans. Guys like Chris Gibson. People thought Chris Gibson and I were some sort of ticket that we were running together the last time I was before you in a forum like this because we had worked together on so many issues. But I think that's the work, and I think that if we did more of that, you would see less of this executive action that is the result of that type of frustration on the part of the executive. And we have courts to tell us when presidents overstep, and I trust those courts to do so. But I would like to see the Congress get in gear again and do its job. I think a lot of folks tell me they'd rather have imperfect progress than perfect gridlock any day, and that's what I'm working for down in DC.
Mr. Oliva, it has been the policy of presidents of both parties to issue executive orders. Many of these appear to be done to bypass congressional approval. What is your position on the use of executive orders?
First, just let me say, Sean, I do know about the ceiling, but let me say I agree with candidate Barack Obama and Senate President. We have to stop it at some point, or else we're going to hit $30 trillion in debt. We got to draw a line in the sand. I don't like the use of executive orders, and both parties have done it. They've been increasingly done, and I think it's wrong. Sean listed a couple examples where you can point to where it was right. You look at Russ Feingold, he's running for Wisconsin senator. He told somebody in passing that Hillary Clinton may use executive order on guns. I think that would scare people on the Second Amendment. We do have a separation of powers. We have to use it. We have to walk across the aisle. Congress makes the laws, the executive enforces it, and the judiciary interprets it. I think our courts shouldn't be so activist. Our executive branch shouldn't be using executive orders in such frequency. But Congress also has to do the job, and I think you look at the congressional approval rating, it's at an all-time low, and it's both parties. You had Republican control, Democratic control. I'm not going to stand up here again. The bipartisanship in Washington is kicking the can down the road, infighting, political stunts. We need to work together. We need incremental change and progress to change the trajectory of our country. If you did that, it'd be less temptation for a president to use executive order. But it's nothing to celebrate. Nobody, even if an executive order benefits you, your group, your interest, what you believe in, your principles, I do think it's not something that should be used with great frequency. So I would oppose it, and like I said, I'd be part of the solution instead of part of the problem down in Washington.